at the Slate Theater. I have just a few quick announcements before we get this party started. First off, if you have a cell phone on you, and who doesn't have a cell phone on you, please take it out. You don't have one, good for you. Take it out, check in on Facebook at the Slate Theater, and then put it back in your pocket or bag, and don't take it out again until intermission. Because there is no texting or talking or beeping or any cell phone-ness in the theater during the acts. Speaking of acts, there are two of them. We have one act, and then we're going to have, it's about an hour long, we're going to have a 15-minute intermission in which the bar will be open, and then we'll have another act, which is another hour long. In the intermission, if you do need to use the restroom, just go out to the hallway, swing to the right, and by the time you get lost, you'll see a sign to go to the left. So you're all good. I do also need to say that this is a secure building, so if you do go outside during intermission, please be sure you take a friend to stay on the inside, because the door will lock behind you. I will go check and make sure there is no one out there at the end of intermission, but it'll be at the end of intermission, so you'll be sitting out there in the rain for 15 minutes, so take a buddy. Lastly, but not leastly, there are 3 exits in case of an emergency. So in the case of emergency, we've got 2 lit up right here. You can just exit right that way, go into the hallway, and then out the front door is the way you came, or this invisible door here, which you can't see because it's the Magic Theater and it's black. But it's there, I promise. Yeah, and that's it. So if you like the show, please tell everyone you know the show's ready for one more weekend. If you don't like the show, tell all of your enemies, and so it's a win-win for both situations, right? So that was supposed to be funnier, so right? Thanks again for coming out to Chocolate Hearts.
tal vez mañana estaré muy lejos y aquí. Ay, bésame, bésame mucho, como si fuera esta noche la última vez. Bésame, bésame mucho. Tengo miedo de después. Tengo miedo después. Aquí tengo miedo verte después. Thought it was a nightmare, but Lord, it was so true. They told me don't go walking slow, devil's on the move. Better run through the jungle.
Primate desperados! I swear, Chopin, you get these jungle monkeys all hopped up on cocoa leaves, and you got yourself the primeval past and the frenetic future of mankind all rolled into one deranged, ill-mannered barbarian. And to think we put you lunatics in the space program! I could use a drink, and this is gonna do. I try to be cordial. I try to be a nice chap. I offer up a banana to a sad-eyed chimp sitting out on a limb. And out of nowhere, a whole gang of primate hoodlums descends en masse, chattering, sticking their paws out, screeching, clawing, tearing, scratching. I tell you, Chopin, they're worse than actors. So, I hate to let you down, old sport. I know how passionate you are about your fruit. But I had to pay the toll to the savage beast. For the most part. You know, you don't live in New York City for 33 years without anticipating getting mugged. Observe. Ha! This one's for you, bud. Hey, you know how I finally ran him off? I sang him a song from our very first off-Broadway show. In fact, Brooklyn. Das Kapital! The musical. I was waving a flag on the 4th of July till I met a party girl I couldn't resist. By August, I was wanted by the FBI because my party girl was a communist. I figured I would scare off the monkeys. And sure scared off the audience. Closing night. I read the preview. Burning that flag and the theater down. That was a tough one to sell them backers. But you and I, we lived out on a limb back then, we did. Yes, sir. That was a lifetime before Uncle Walt turned us into a franchise. Hey, speaking of princesses, where's Raina? I'm here, you're here. Where, pray tell, is our charming little hostess? I'm getting hungry. Well, I haven't really been hungry for years. Thirst, for worse, not for better, hath defeated hunger. The 60s. We were hungry then. We're so angry we didn't even know we were hungry.
jeez.
Whoa.
Well, there's our soldier of misfortune.
Ooh.
Cannon been talking your ears off, Chopin. Okay. I have something for you. Ooh,
Yeah?
ooh, close your eyes. Close your eyes. Ha 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 ha.
Ow.
Ta-da!
What is this?
You're here. You must have read the invitation.
I didn't get past RSVP. What are you, the Duchess of Windsor? We live 9 coconut trees apart, for Christ's sakes. So?
So,
So what the hell is this?
it's the world's largest cupcake. What do you think it is? It's a birthday cake.
Was somebody celebrating a birthday?
You are.
Me? You sure it's not him?
Does he look like he's celebrating anything?
Having a birthday and celebrating a birthday are two entirely different things, Raina. I just don't remember the air being so orchid sweet on my birthdays. At my age, there's nothing sweet about birthdays.
You can at least show some fake appreciation. I spent the last of my figure skating money to get swindled by that crook Cantina Annie for the cocoa.
Ah,
You'd think I was making a cake out of plutonium. And what do you suppose that hat is on your head, a sombrero?
wearing a festive cone on my head does not make me any less perplexed.
What's the matter, honey? Humidity fogging your memory.
It's a memories fogging my memory. You absolutely sure it's my birthday?
Well, the way you tell it, Cannon. Year keeps changing, but the day of the month are always the same. You have been down here in Costa Rica too long.
Not absent from somewhere else long enough.
Heartaches don't have an expiration date.
Why is it whenever you make a point, it comes out sounding like a country western song?
Because your point is the only point that matters to you.
It seems to me the more we get to know each other, the less we like each other.
And since the first day I met you, I hated you.
Whoa.
Where does that lead us?
Prep school, the Jesuits assured me all roads lead to Rome.
How do you leave Rome if that's true?
It's only true if you make it true.
I'd rather make a living.
What happens to that housekeeping wage I pay you?
Wage? Even down here, it's more like tips in a shot glass. I have my own ends to meet, Don Kodo.
Tightwad, huh? Well, the tightwad's fogged up memory recalls a time before we had Little Miss Frugal. We had the Jackie Onassis at the trailer parks.
Don't call me that.
Hanging out at the Americano Yankee Doodle Dandy bar, sporting a black wig and sunglasses, trying to drink champagne out of a sandal.
I was trying to be incognito.
Incognito, incoherent is more like it. It was me who threw that black wig to the dogs and taught you how to survive down here. Set you up here in La Casa Grande.
Ah, Casa my assa. It's a donkey hole of a roof, you
Toast of
miserable.
gratitude.
And Dia de los Muertos.
Dia de los Muertos. Day of the Dead.
Yep.
You're telling me my birthday's on the Day of the Dead. Good one, God.
Cannon, while you are a guest in my cabana, I will ask you not to do your drinking out of the bottle. The monkeys are beginning to talk. This is more than I can say for him.
Don't even mention them flying panhandlers.
Oh no! You fed the monkeys again! How many times I gotta tell you, Cannon? Jungle don't go with whatever pops into that Broadway head of yours. You don't attract attention, you run away from it.
I ran away from it, all right.
Think on it like this. We are just clouds on an overcast day.
You hear that?
Hear what?
The silence. The kind of silence you hear down the corridors of state institutions on a Sunday afternoon. So I'm told. Isn't it time for Chopin's Fancy Philharmonic radio program?
Yes, it sure is. I know you look forward to your classical music program, Chopin, but Some jackass left the radio out in his leaky old cabana last night. Line, honey.
Did I? I am sorry. I am goddamn sorry, Chopin. You know, I would build you a grand piano out of bamboo so that you could play concertos for the lizards if I wasn't celebrating this here birthday. So, here's to Frederick Francois Chopin, the pride of Poland. Bless his mysterious heart. And yours.
Give me some matches.
Oh, sorry, right next to the radio.
Nice going. Well, you're just gonna have to pretend to blow out the candles.
Well, you know, I can't pretend not to notice a little bit of an inconsistency here. Now, my vague but general recollections of the many happy returns of the years are party hats on fat little Puritan faces of my boyhood Vermont, of making love to some sorority vixen on the Yale campus, a pile of leaves by booze light, or the endless cocktail parties after the Broadway openings being fattened up with lies and whispers. I sure don't remember working up a sweat preparing to blow out birthday candles that ain't even lit.
I got a pretty good idea. You lost track of the months years ago, let alone the seasons.
I would imagine about the time the queen of the trailer parks hung up her blades.
I told you not to call me that. I haven't hung up this blade
Oh.
yet.
Lo siento, mi amiga. Believe the prognosis was degenerate memory, huh?
It's good enough you insult me, you bastard. I gotta cut you up for bait.
As commandments go, I believe Moses was a tad bit idyllic with love thy neighbor. But thou shalt not kill, I completely agree with.
You and I both know you got the goods on me, so killing you would be my insurance policy.
I believe you have me confused with a doll-faced shark and pink tights. The competition.
Makes no difference to trailer trash any way you slice it.
Well, at least with me, I get your personal attention. Go ahead, I mean, killing me on my birthday might be the perfect punchline to my life as a joke.
Look at me. Supposed to cut up the birthday cake, not the birthday boy. I just wish I had your soggy memory, because right now I got me a 1,200-mile-long shadow.
Yeah, we're all running from something down here, princess. You didn't come all the way down here just to celebrate my birthdays.
The opposite of a birthday that landed me here. What are you running away from?
Success.
Success? How screwed up is that, man?
Indeed, huh? Well, you see, my creative partner and I were right in the middle of another boy meets girl musical. I write the lyrics, he writes the music. When right in the middle of writing the song, he walked out. And I followed him. We never came back to the piano or the theater.
Well, we have all made insane mistakes. Like this, for starters.
Daughter of Santa?
That idiot tattoo artist couldn't spell. Let's begin commencing with the festivities before we all drown in a sea of tears.
Now, hold on here. Don't correct me if I'm wrong. High lips, and you always do. But south of the border, I believe it's customary to have a piñata, huh?
Oh, sure. I want you swinging a baseball bat around the place with a rainy season full of cabin fever in ya. I'll be your piñata baby doll, but I warn you, Mickey Mantle's bat couldn't pry open what's inside of me. So don't try giving me your birthday blues, because I am already on a lifetime plan. You better start birthday celebrating pronto, or I will feed your blues to the spiders.
Oh! That catapults me right straight into the star-spangled skies of commemoration, huh? You know, I remember a time when the wedding cakes outnumbered the birthday cakes.
Totem Madre, blow out the candles.
Si supuesto, amiga. When you put it to me nicely, not like a hissing cobra.
Un momento. Make a wish first, huh?
Make a wish. Look at him. Poor melancholy genius. I can just see him wandering the gray, glassy streets of the village like a forlorn puppy, looking in all the shop windows, wishing he had a grand piano, all broken-hearted. He's the one who needs a wish, not me.
Whoop.
Oh, jeez.
Muy bien.
Yeah.
What'd you wish for, huh?
I wished you'd pour lime juice on my head, huh? Make me feel like Jesus.
All righty, here we go. Una, dos, tres.
Whoa! Sweet. Mary Magdalene, that feels fine for the brain.
How many wedding cakes were there, Cannon?
One for each season. My first wife ran off to the Himalayas to find herself because she said I was suffocating her.
What happened to her?
She was suffocated by an avalanche. Yep, 60 feet under. My second wife had what they used to call a psychological condition. She referred to herself as Sister Joan of Arc. Souffle's on fire in the oven. But I loved her deeply. Those long afternoons at the State Institution Gardens, pretending to understand her poetry in French. Couldn't take the pain, so I just gave up on her. Gave up.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, well, what happened to ex-wives number 3 and 4?
Ex number 3 ran off with ex number 4.
Oh, what do you know? You married a couple of closet kings.
Well, there you have it. Marriage in a nut house. What a vile circus.
You weren't cut out to be a divorcee, Cannon. You were cut out to be a widower. Surprised there isn't a whole sorority of them up there in the cemetery.
Do you ever feel guilty?
Guilt? Of what I did? Had paid to be done? I didn't want that. I really didn't. She was pure ambition behind that cornflake box smile, but Cannon, she was a beautiful skater. A real champion. Those were brainless animals taking baseball bats to her like she was a piñata. Christ! I wanted bruises, not a fatality. I didn't want that.
You were in the wrong sport, baby. You should have been a bullfighter.
I messed up, man. I really messed up.
So we all come down here to sweat out our sins. I walked out on a show, right in the middle of it. Slammed the door, no words. Hey, you remember a song, Didn't You Know? A couple people recorded it.
You wrote that? Get out. I used that for my short
Yeah, it
program.
was pretty good, wasn't it? So I threw a dart at a globe and a little bastard stuck in Costa Rica. Now so am I. Packed up my loose ends and a soul that was drained. Haven't been able to refill it since. I don't need a shrink or a priest. I have the moon. A rainy season moon. Looks like it's been dipped in cocoa.
Huh. Coca, Coca-Luna.
These are the confessions of the Coca-Luna. Hey, Raina, we want a tropical floor show. Isn't that right, Chopin?
Oh no, this ain't the Rainbow Room, brother.
Oh, come on. You convinced me it's my birthday. How about honoring the birthday boy with a tropical demonstration of the U.S. Junior Olympic skating moves that made Raina Henning a household name?
No.
Ooh. A little less difficult, eh? Well. Da 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 da.
You dog! Where'd you get that?
Doesn't our fire-breathing dragonette remember trying to set it ablaze one night? I wasn't going to allow a quality memory to be destroyed forever.
What the fork?
Ow! There's my goody two skates. Oh, baby. Oh, Raina's made a lovely choice in Chopin's Waltz for the Piano in D minor for her short program. Oh, that was an outstanding triple reverse axel dip button. Outstanding. Raina is really a shining star tonight.
End the sham, face the shame.
Katrina!
End the sham, face the shame.
Make her go away!
Who go away? What's gotten into you, Raina? You haven't finished your program.
Oh, I'm finished, all right. Finished. Sure, I was good, and sometimes great enough to be better than good, but never good enough or great enough to be a champion. Champions are born, not bought.
End the shame. Come with me into the darkness, Raina. The light will follow.
I'm sorry! I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry! You know what they drilled into our little heads? Win and you're a winner! Lose and you're a loser!
Raina!
You want revenge, girl? Go ahead! Kill me! Take the goddamn machete and make me a headless monster!
Give me the machete. Give me the machete, por favor.
I've had 1,000 nightmares! Isn't that enough?
No. Nightmares are not enough. Confessions to the goddamn coca leaf are not enough. The only thing that is enough. Look, listen to me. The only thing that is enough is for you to forgive yourself.
Muchas gracias, amigo. But I have to find out myself. Adios.
I am perplexed. Adios. My broken angel. Chopin, let's say you and me pull up stakes, go home. Got a show to finish.
Isn't life interesting thing?
Let's hear it one more time for tonight's special guest, Tim Platt.
I was told as part of my prize for performing in this wonderful piece, I get to promote a few shows. I'm going to be in Casa Valentina with lesser-known players at the Slate Theater at the end of October. I'll be playing Ebenezer Scrooge at Valley Center Stage's production of A Christmas Carol in December. And in February, I will be Willie Loman at this very site, right here in Dennis. Thank you.
But what's the use in scheming when I know I'm only dreaming, and I don't stand a ghost of a chance with you. Oh, I don't stand a ghost of a chance with you.
Well, my sweet Molly, another Valentine's Day. Another Valentine's Day without you. I have a patient at 3 o'clock. It's a root canal. Poor bastard. If you could just give me a sign that you know I'm here, please. Please, just one little sign. Oh, I brought you something else. I must have left it in the car. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
Yummy.
Fallen under the car seat here. Oh, hello. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I understand your pain. What the? Jesus! Molly, you were here! It's a miracle! A Valentine's Day miracle! And you took your favorites! Cherry almond chew! Excuse me?
Those are great. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh, I wouldn't open that if I were you.
The box of chocolates? My wife already opened it. Isn't that amazing?
I meant the umbrella. It's bad luck to open an umbrella in a cemetery.
That's ridiculous. I never heard of that.
Lose the umbrella.
Yes, dear.
What did you just call me?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking. Do Do you know what paranormal communication is?
Paranormal communication.
Yeah.
I grew up in a dysfunctional family. I don't even know what normal communication is. Hey. Now I know where I've seen you. You're a dentist.
Yes. You can make an appointment through my office. If you don't mind, I need to pay my respects to my wife. You said it was bad luck to open an umbrella in a cemetery?
It is. This is a bicycle pump. I must have grabbed it by mistake. Speaking of bad luck, my husband was a patient of yours.
I'm sorry, I don't remember.
I went to you once, but I have a really good dentist now.
I have several loyal patients.
Well, I don't expect you to carry my x-rays around in your wallet or anything. I just thought you might remember me. About a year ago, I brought my husband in on New Year's Day. He chipped a tooth on a blender.
Oh, yes. Now I remember. I missed the Rose Bowl.
It's Dr.
Smile.
Yeah, something like that. Well, we chose you out of the phone book because of the name. I mean, come on, a dentist named Dr. Smile. We thought it was made up.
Actors take stage names, dentists use their own. Mine is Dr. Doug Smile.
Bonjour, I'm Meg.
Please.
Meg Louise.
Please.
Alicia Raphael.
Yes.
Georgia Bouvant Flack.
Pleased to meet you.
I can tell.
If you'll excuse me.
Want a trade?
Why?
Because all I have is this bicycle pump. I wonder why I was in such a hurry to see dead people.
Well, here, take the umbrella. Oh, no, thanks.
Yeah.
You'll excuse me, I'm rather upset.
About missing the Cotton Bowl?
It was the Rose Bowl, and then that's not why I'm upset right now.
Right now, he says. I grew up upset. My whole life I'm upset. To me, being upset isn't even upsetting. What a family. What a father. Let me tell you something, and don't you forget it. Memory is a curse.
Memory separates us from the animals and the Shriners.
He drank.
Your father?
My husband, Willard, blender boy. He was an archaeologist. Archaeologists are not known to be heavy drinkers like, novelists and janitors, but my archaeologist did.
How's your husband's tooth?
Oh, fine. His tooth is fine. He's not doing too well.
He's ill?
He's dead.
Oh, that's Willard's gravestone?
Oh, no. That's my first husband, Julian. He was also an archaeologist. Died on Valentine's Day 3 years ago today. Tragic, tragic death.
Sorry, I'm sure he's in a better place.
Oh, he is. He used to be buried back there behind the dumpsters.
Well, yes, but I meant
Of course, his family said it was bad luck to move a gravesite.
maybe it's bad luck to dig up an archaeologist.
Having 2 dead archaeologist husbands isn't bad luck enough. This is Willard over here, under the vodka bottle.
Your husbands are buried next to each other?
Well, that's why I had my first husband moved. 2-for-1 family discount.
Well, when you married him, didn't you know he was a,
Them. They both drank. Beyond moderation, beyond belief.
Them, okay. When you married them, didn't you know they were...
It's okay to say alcoholic, Doug. Even though every time we say alcoholic, it sounds like we're talking about somebody we don't know. Probably because I didn't know my husbands very well for very long. My first husband, Julian, flashback, flash.
What are you doing?
This is a flashback, Doug. It was my honeymoon in gay Paris. Ooh la la! I was so full of moonlight and magic. In fact, so full of it, I didn't notice Julian pouring vodka into his coffee the next morning. Can you imagine? By our second wedding anniversary, he was pouring vodka into his vodka. Well, let me put it this way, there was no third wedding anniversary. But goddamn, was he good looking.
Well, shouldn't Julian be buried under the vodka?
Oh, that's right. Vodka for Julian, flowers for Willard. Willard always gave me flowers when he was hungover. The way he drank, I could open a florist shop. Now, since you asked me about my second husband, Willard,
No, I didn't ask you
Willard
about
led a major excavation in what was once Mesopotamia. Well, there ain't no ancient artifacts in the bars, and I was soon married to an unemployed archaeologist. Oh, sure, Willard made some brief but feeble attempts at sobriety for show. But he had his secret gin supply in the basement behind the bird cages. I found him dead on the basement floor last Valentine's Day. He was clutching a bird cage with enough booze in it to start his own space program. May he roast in peace. Rest in hell.
Oh, fleeting life, we embrace the
Never
angel
mind
of-
that shit. Hold this. One last fatal trip down those basement stairs on Valentine's Day. Ironically, it was the 12th step.
My wife only drank pink champagne at the horse races.
My husband spent so much time digging up the ancient past, they didn't have time to dig up their own. She only drank pink champagne? How Ladies' Home Journal.
Today's our anniversary. 3 years ago today.
You met on Valentine's Day?
No, we married on Valentine's Day.
So, the day your marriage started, my marriage to Julian ended. Actually, it ended when he started drinking. Cheers, Julian. 2 years since your last drink. You must be thirsty. She wasn't your dental assistant, was she? You know, listening to Johnny Mathis, flossing each other by candlelight.
No, she was a book editor for a publishing company. We met one evening at a
Can we not do the romantic fairy tale story right now? I might throw up on my husband. Isn't that just like Julian? Soaked it right up.
It wasn't that romantic, really. I knew my wife had cancer when I married her.
What?
Well, that there was a possibility she could... this is very personal and private. I need to grieve alone with quiet dignity.
Wait a minute, Mr. Quiet Dignity. You exchanged vows with a terminal cancer patient?
Molly wasn't terminal. There was hope. I was attracted to her optimism.
You were attracted to that. Nobody is attracted to optimism. I'd say you were attracted to the fatality of the situation because you're terrified of commitments.
I fell in love. Hard. That's the finality of it.
Well,
I have
then
no control over that.
You fell in love with the wrong girl.
She was the right girl. She was the perfect girl. Everything happens for a purpose, you know.
I do know. I fell at the wrong time, at the wrong place for the wrong guy. Twice! I gave myself to those two self-absorbed booze worshippers. And they took bites out of my heart like it was made out of chocolate. Until there was nothing left. Nothing!
Keep it down, please.
People should shout in cemeteries. Hey, Uncle Phil! Thanks for giving me that crummy boy's bicycle your son outgrew, you cheap bastard! Try it, Doc.
Hey, Uncle Phil, thanks for giving me...
Somebody you know.
Molly, why did you leave?
Here's to paranormal communication.
Molly's spirit ate some of those chocolates.
I'm okay. Just a little choked up, that's all.
Molly died reading a letter her mother had written to her father during the war. It was night. It was raining. I wanted to cry, but I couldn't. I remember looking through the window, and through my own reflection, raindrops were pouring out of my eyes.
Molly passed through the window, Doug. Let her go.
They said she would heal. She didn't heal. They said I would heal. I didn't heal. You don't heal with a knife in your heart.
Your wife had cancer of the body. My husband's had cancer of the soul. When I'm sad, do you know what I do?
You stay away from dentists?
I dance. Don't you dance, Doug? Aren't there any dancing dentists?
Dentists prefer golf. To a lesser extent, miniature golf.
Well, the cemetery's just one big ballroom for whiners. Come on, Doug. Dance with me. Da, da, dum, da 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 dum, dum dum, da 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 dum, dum dum, da 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 da. Hey!
Oh, what?
All right, mister. I'm gonna see you dance!
Oh, no, wait a minute. No, wait, give me the bottle. Give me the bottle.
Oh, if you want a drink, just ask for
No,
one.
no, I just don't want to perform oral surgery today smelling like Dean Martin.
Oh, come on.
Oh, you're gonna spill it all over me.
Please.
Please, don't.
Funeral procession.
Oh, no, please, no. You're smelling it, I'm telling you.
It's okay, it's okay.
Honey, don't.
Oh. Ooh. Are you gonna kiss me or kill me?
I just want to grieve in peace.
My husband didn't fall.
How's that?
I hope the dentist-patient confidentiality clause applies here because I'm going to confess.
You were only my patient once.
I only have one thing to confess.
Okay.
My husband Willard did not fall down the basement stairs. He was drunk, I was angry, and I pushed him. And that's why he is down there with the worms.
Well, that would make it... Boy.
Let sleeping dogs lie.
Well, that would be fine if he was sleeping, but he's dead.
I would look at him across the breakfast table sometimes, and his eyes looked like tiny little corpses.
I don't care if they look like parade floats. This has legal complications, morality issues.
I could have had French noblemen, handsome Irish rogues, beautiful stable boys at dawn. He robbed me of my youth.
I'm just a dentist. I fix teeth. I can't fix the past.
Men. Nobody's asking you to fix anything. I just needed a stranger with a blank canvas face to confess to without judgment or sentence.
Your youth isn't gone. You danced.
When I was young, I looked older. Now that I'm older, I look younger. When you were young, you probably looked younger, and Now that you're older, you still look young.
I get these fleeting notions of suicide. I get them every Valentine's Day.
So you can be with your sainted Molly? Wake up and say goodbye, Doctor. You meet beautiful women and you're attracted to them, and you resent her because you won't allow yourself to pursue them.
Well, Molly deserves better than that. And she wasn't a saint. She was just as angry as anyone who was a good and faithful little servant to the church. Just to be kicked in the ass by God, we both were.
Go ahead, build your pity city. I came here to say goodbye to both these bastards, and I ain't coming back, ever. So long, Dr. Smile. Good luck. And I'm taking the flowers with me.
But you have twice the grief I do. Just look at these poor... To the memory of
That's my sacred ground.
Gwendolyn McDougal?
There must be some mistake.
Unless you were married to a Scottish grandmother of 12. And who might this be? Toshi Yoshimoto? What kind of a sad game is going on here?
All right. So I laid them to imaginary rest. It sounds better than 2 failed marriages drowned in alcohol.
Crazy lies. You had me feeling sorry for you.
They weren't all lies. Just the facts were lies.
Here we go again.
Listen, Doctor. I really did lay them to rest. I created secret suicides and mystery murders because it was my way of grieving the loss of my love for them. So I wouldn't have to believe it was my fault they were drunks. At least I'm doing something about it. I spent my whole life looking for the light at the end of the tunnel, and I never even found the tunnel. Oh, I'm sorry, Doug. I guess we both have chocolate hearts.
Where are you going?
I really do have a dead archaeologist uncle over there with the Catholics.
Yeah? How do you know I don't pursue beautiful women?
Not doing a very good job of pursuing me.
Do you like chocolate?
No.
Well, you used to.
How do you know I used?
You have cherry almond chew on your lower left bicuspid. Number 14.
Vodka?
I don't drink. Hey, you said it was bad luck to open an umbrella in a cemetery.
Not today.
Hold me close and hold me fast. The magic spell you
ladies and gentlemen, the wonder of Hickam, the fastest rising name in vaudeville. Daddy Wonder. Daddy Wonder.
Hello, everyone. Oh, are you in love tonight? Because I love all of you. You gotta give a little, take a little, and let your heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. You gotta laugh a little, cry a little, and let the clouds go by a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. As long as there's the two of us, we've got the world and all its stuff. And when the world is through with us, we've got each other's arms. We gotta win a little, lose a little, and always have to lose a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Look at all of you beautiful people. I have to come and give you some love. Oh, hi. Hello, I love you tonight. Oh, yes. Oh, lovely. Oh. Glorious love. Yes, darling. Oh, yes. Oh, hi there. Oh, my. Oh, hello, yes. Yes, darling. Oh, hello. Oh, and you, darling. Oh, appreciate me. As long as there's the two of us, we've got the world and all the stuff. And when the world is through with us, we've got each other's arms. You gotta win a little, lose a little, and always have to lose a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Oh, that's the glory of, that's the story of, that's the glory of love.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hershey Theater is proud to present Finny and Feeny. Finny and Feeny.
be tattered. I'm a wee bit more than fiercely perplexed, Finny darling. Not in 20 bleeding years did I ever know yourself to walk out on a curtain call. Not you, or any other actor before or after Thespis.
21 bleeding years, Beanie darling.
I'm after being left out there on stage like an organ grinder's monkey without an organ grinder. Is it the train you're fretting with, miss? I thought we agreed on catching the train in the morning to... What's this, Phil? What's the sense in playing a ghost chasing after its own soul? For someone in such an almighty hurry, you don't seem to be moving much, or at all.
Hurry. Oh, quite the contrary. Never really seen my feet standing still in one place before. No voluntary will or involuntary desire to dance, dive, shuffle, jig, jump, scurry, slide, trip, skip, walk, run, but rather not move so much as an inch. Together, content, serene, symmetric, like a lake in a mountain.
Well, I'm overjoyed for the pair of them, and I hope they stick together for as long as we have. But would you be kind enough to offer an explanation to your sudden, and if you ask me, peculiar rebuffing of hearty cheers and vigorous applause?
Funny how the two things I rely on most in life I pay the least attention to.
Hearty cheers and vigorous applause.
My feet!
Aye, indeed. Tootsies are the headliners amongst the lower extremities. You'll get no barroom wrangle from Misha. But darling, displaying your backside to an audience is an enthusiastic expression of appreciation. It is as unnatural to you as a performer, as it is uncivil to them as an audience, even if they are unsophisticated yokels.
Salmon fights and flips and surges against all odds of countering the natural current. An epic struggle, only to make a nest in a drowsy stream, fade and sparkle. Utopia.
Utopia, is it? Not if you're on the wrong end of a fishing pole, it's not.
Do you know what this is?
You'll melt.
The cycle of life. Alpha, Omega. You know what Alpha, Omega is?
A Greek law firm. An Italian sports car.
Everything is a routine with you. How do I put this? Life's journey can lead us from where we are going back to where we thought we were going in the first place, but would have landed us elsewhere instead of back where we started. Do you understand?
Of course.
You do.
I don't. And now that I've answered your question, answer mine. What, in the name of Jesus, Mary, and Jumbo the elephant, is wrong with your woman?
You mean was wrong with me. No two ways about it. My feet are resigned to the civilian life.
Oh. So that's what all this salmon putting their fins up business is about. The civilian life, is it? Well, you mark my words. Feast. Resigned to the civilian life, or resigned to the melancholy march into the graveyard. And where's the applause in that, I should wonder? Is it this knockabout's opinion, milled from the ample teat of experience? That applause is about Villian's gold standard, so it is.
For the first time in all these years on stage, I looked past the limelight into the darkness. I saw myself.
Yourself? I don't... But...
Myself, completely disembodied from the stage. Myself out there, in the world. I did not see a particularly happy person.
But who the devil is happy? Millionaires? Rabbits? A certain percentage of dead Catholics?
Maybe the answer wasn't out there in the darkness, but the question sure was, Why am I not happy?
I don't know how you can squeeze in happiness between the limelight and all that darkness. Discarding the rose, prizing the thorn, as it were.
My life has become such a mystery to me. And the biggest mystery of all is how it became such a mystery.
Life should be a mystery to everyone. The adventure of the unknown, opening doors at every turn. The lady, or the tiger.
For you, it's the lady or the tiger. For me, it's traveling salesman.
Darling, just because we don't hang our hats on the same hook every night doesn't make us any less dignified than the do.
I'll remember that the next time you spray seltzer down my pants. Except, there ain't gonna be a next time, Beanie.
Agreed. No more that rough and tumble stuff in the act. I'm thinking of taking a more sophisticated approach to the act. Get this, I wrote this. Man walks into a doctor, and the doctor says, I've got some bad news and some worse news. And the man said, what's the bad news? The doctor said, we've only got 24 hours to live. And the man says, what's the worst news? And the doctor said, I forgot to call you yesterday. Like that, see? Sophisticated.
And just who do you reckon I would be playing? The nurse?
You don't play anybody. You're the second banana. You just stand there and listen.
Silent fruit. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
I'm thinking of wearing less makeup in future. A clearer definition of where the me begins and the clown ends. What do you mean you're done?
Buddha said, the only constant is change.
I see you're a Buddhist now, are you?
It was. Then I changed.
I love you for it. You set me up.
God, I'm making this so difficult. Like trying to tell a child fairies only live in books.
So you've never been to Ireland.
Listen to me. I'm finished with show business. For keeps.
Now, hang on a minute, darling. This old spinning world has a habit of rolling onto the backs of us theatre tramps, and the road we've been on becomes longer than the road itself. Perhaps what you need is a good night's rest.
Beanie.
It's not such a wise idea to tell a woman what she needs.
It's this town.
Another sleepy town.
Remember anything about it? At all?
Not sure I remember anything. But, something plucked your senses straight away, sure. Something unique in the air. Remote but near, bitter, with the promise of something sweet.
At the boarding house, in my little room, laying there in the blue dawn light, which has its own unique firebrand of reminding us how alone we really are in the world. These waves of impressions came over me. Concise, precise impressions of long ago. Rain splashing on the window, drowning out the cry of an infant.
Rain, did you say? Sure, the streets were as dusty this morning as they were last night.
Not last night. A rain I heard 21 years ago. The musical score of my life has a warped circle. The circle has come round to its own mysterious origin and in the process finally broke open.
Feel one of your truth and carnage moods coming on. God knows I've tasted the prickly fruit of your seasonal agitations, though.
Well, like all the years on the road with you, like you said about this town. Take the bitter with the promise of something sweet. But it's more than a mood or a season. You began her at the Playbill?
Vinny and Feeny, the funniest team on the vaudeville circuit.
Doesn't say that.
Well, it bloody well should do, now that Burns and Allen are doing the radio.
take a look at the name of the town.
Hershey Theater, Hershey, Pennsylvania. They make something here, don't they? Can't quite put me finger on it.
No far off, distant bells from long ago going off in your head?
Just another hour's theatre. My knackered head isn't able for riddles and puzzles at the moment. I'll be packing up, so. Speaking of feet, these could do with a soak beneath the cloud of nickel cigar smoke in Hershey, Pennsylvania. The 20 years ago, Hershey, Pennsylvania.
21 years ago. And 18 years before that. I was born in this sleepy town.
Christ, on a unicycle. I remember the night we met as if it were...
Yesterday?
No, 21 years ago. I was stuck in this absolutely woeful song and dance act with a partner who was more interested in a beer tap than a tap dance. Himself off on a holy tale with the jug. I finished the run as a solo. After the Sunday matinee, on one of Mrs. Cranberry's boarding house meals, featuring the mysterious flesh of a long-departed creature of the wild, I was sitting out on the porch, taking in the concerto of the crickets, and there you were, all lace and blushes, the golden August moon painting a magical glow on that heavenly face of yours. Innocence of a spring lamb.
Not exactly. The innocent lamb was out for a smoke.
How well you can judge a lamb by its wool.
Well, actually you can, and they do. The county fairs.
I seem to recall it was more than a stroll and a smoke he was out for having, darling. Stroll quickly turned into a saunter. The saunter quickly turned into a standing position. And the standing position quickly turned into a sitting position. And the sitting position
Slowly turned into 21 years on the road with a man who was not my spouse. I had to live with that for far too long. The fish eyes, the sneering whispers.
the stuff of matinees. The dashing denizen of the theatre, it's me. Swoops up the wide-eyed vestal virgin, it's you.
Methinks more vestal than virgin.
Happy as a loon, singing to the moon.
You or me?
You! A wee lass, nefariously predestined for the convent, up in some remote jungle of sugar maples, reeking of nuns and goat shite. Well, and just thrilled I intercepted you from fate's detestable hand.
About as thrilled as if I opened a can of beans and found beans inside. Honestly, to me you were a pair of pants with a train ticket out of here.
Oh, swell. You could at least spruce up the memory for the sake of me pride.
I'll grant your pride this. My, what a dazzling picture he made in summer moonlight. Carnival cocktail, Broadway bravado, county cut guy. Brother, what a smile. Eyes like fireflies. Teeth like little igloos.
Beth, will you listen to this patter? Herself handing out the flattery like St. Francis with the birdseed.
Though I can't honestly say you had a monopoly on manly charms. No, sir. You weren't the first wolf in the pack by a long shot. Winking and rattling their snake eyes at me behind the coffee cans and the cornmeal sacks. Dangling that big city carrot in front of me. Instead of 40 carats on a wedding ring, befitting the prize maiden and honor roll empress of Chocolate Town.
Funny. All these later. It would occur to me, it never occurred to me to ask you. Why did you go with little old me?
It was the timing. Definitely the timing. And it ain't only comedy that needs good timing.
Well, I'll chalk it up to luck. Well, the luck of the Irish is no more than a cruel joke. When you grow up on a damn dairy farm in the asshole of Ireland. Every morning of every bleeding day, my abbreviated youth, before the light has caught up with the dawn. Marching into that gloomy band like it was the mouth of an ill-tempered, foul-smelling whale. The rain slashing at me. And the brutal frost murdering me bones. Having to pilfer the putrid white brew from the disagreeable beast of boredom.
Giant bovine eyes blaring daggers at a wee lad.
Breastfeeding a tin bucket. Just to be clear on the situation, it's not that I maintain an aversion or entertain a passing objection. But deep down in my soul of souls, I hate!
Oh, I can't even say the word.
Cows?
Milk! Well, cows I'm not too fond of either. I don't despise them much. But I wouldn't invite one to a wedding.
Wedding? Whose wedding?
Any two people have collectively lost their reason in a church.
I see.
Another thing I hold in unmitigated contempt.
The church?
Cheese! Milk spoiled child. The hours, the years I've invested in making bacteria a conversation piece for the French. It makes me sick. Well, needless to say, leaving home on the farm did not require much ruminating.
Regardless of the reasons for leaving, I consider myself the lucky one.
You don't say.
I could have done a lot worse.
I could have done a lot better.
Why didn't you?
You kept getting better.
I must have seemed stiff as a statue in those days. So nervous and shy. The theater was a strange land full of strange people.
Well, you're no stranger to me now. I can read you like a book.
Oh yeah. What's the name of the book?
What's that you're asking me now?
What's my first name?
I know it. Don't tell me. I know it. I know it.
Read me like a book, he says. You don't know a damn thing about me. I'm pretty sure I don't know a damn thing about either one of you. I did fall once.
No great wonder. I was quite the strapping buck in the early days.
Who said I was talking about you?
Weren't you?
Mostly.
Mostly, she says. Mostly. God, things I have to put.
I know who it was. It was that tall lumberjack fella on the circuit you fancied. Oh, great big bollocks of an ape he was, whistling tunes about trees. He was teaching me how to whittle. Oh, it all starts with a little innocent whittling.
What, before I get the axe? Come on, give me some credit. Of course it was you.
I wasn't born yesterday. I was born tomorrow.
It's your birthday tomorrow?
I'm fairly certain. The old sort country folk were much on keeping exact records.
Let's see, that would make you...
Oh, them early days with you and me. Oh, you had that way about you. The intoxicating brew of mischief and innocence. Oh, made it the devil's own sweat to keep a professional distance. You on one side of the screen and me on the other. Me heart, wild as a box of frogs.
I do know. And pretending I didn't know was the only thing I could do to keep me from bolting. Or going batty.
And, one of them stars above had aligned anywhere else but greasy dressing rooms, dim hash diners and hotels fit for the departed. Pretending not to notice your broken-hearted face out on the sidewalk, looking in the pub window at me and my boozy circus of tall tales. Pretending to be a big man. Pretending to be a man. Them stars above have been honoured instead of ignored. Begs the question, is it after being too late? Oh, the God Almighty couldn't stop me from singing. I'll take you home again.
Oh, for God's sake, man! Let your mouth give your ears a chance for a minute. I'm trying to tell you something.
Why, proceed.
You see, before anything in my life happened, I fell under the seductive spell of a slick talker with curly locks and a talent for breaking locks. Doesn't matter who or even where he is anymore. Jail would be a good guess. Or the Senate. Being the brightest girl in the classroom. Not so the case in the bedroom. As I lay naked with this hapless hoodlum, that included my ring finger, resulting in a child born out of unholy wedlock. A girl. An angel of a girl. With eyes like chocolate drops. I suppose a woman now. Perhaps a mother herself. Which would make me, oh, Jesus.
See. We've all done things we're not proud of.
What have you done?
Sure, nothing that bad.
What?
I didn't mean it like that. Oh, Lucifer knows I've had my fair share of petty larcenies of the heart.
Larcenies. Willfully tapered down by a deep commitment to the moral hypocrisy of your Irish Catholic heritage.
We bog-trotters are the moral compass of the working world.
Never mind. It's all perfume under the bridge. See, my naive indiscretion destroyed any chance I had of becoming a decent member of society. So I went with you.
Oh, well, thanks a bleeding million.
Rephrase. Where's the decency in casting away a young girl for life? As punishment for one flash of gullible folly? Without the dimmest hope of forgiveness. Starting out in the world with you, I was the newborn infant. Like, the very reason for my leaving home.
Why?
You were kind, decent to me.
Darling, after all this time, all these years, why didn't you tell me about this?
Amy, I'm sorry for holding my tongue about it to you, but since we never married, I figured I wasn't beholden to tell you about my sordid history. It was shame that kept my silence mostly. But what I never told you, and very sorry I hadn't, is I always felt more than a little cheated having to share your life and remain unmarried.
Now?
Especially now. All that time.
Well, believe me, you'd feel a hell of a lot more than a little cheated if we had married. Oh, you know yourself, I've never been capable of steering a silly course past the skirts of this frisky business.
Well, that's grand gravy for you, sport. What about me? Huh? What about my life?
Reckon I would have made quite a study of it by now. Only I didn't want to crowd you, is all.
There's no crowd in an empty shell.
I'm curious about something.
21 years. Now he's curious.
Curious about you and, you know.
I do?
The thing.
The thing. We're getting warmer?
No.
Playing the bagpipes?
Bagpipes?
Oh, you mean sex.
Well,
You did it often enough, you just can't say it. I can say the word because to me it's not much more than a word.
I was going to say love. Only that's nearly as presumptuous as the other.
The modus operandi for me pursuing the thing, as you would have it, or my attempt anyway, was typically I gather in the honest eyes of a handsome gentry who doesn't even know what grease paint is. Say, a local library? Without a trace of subtlety, positioning myself in the romance bookshelves, trading pointless smiles, empty promises of returning. And I was back to my room and my books. You know, I've been to bed with Charles Dickens more times than Mrs. Dickens.
Had to keep the arrangement professional. Like, emotional entanglements are bad for business and the digestion. With me and the lasses, I never got on to the last name. I got on the last trolley.
Well, while you were on the last trolley, or a chorus girl, my pen was the key to the life I ached for. It opened up a world as phony as our act, from writing letters to faceless relatives, making up fairy tales about sitting around a hearth with a man who came to the front door of our cozy cottage, same time every night. Instead of a lonely nomad, sharing a life with a man who only knows stage doors and back doors.
I reckon I didn't figure on you suffering the grief, so I figured it was all part of God's plan.
Plan? What plan?
But if there was to be no childbearing, then the marriage was not in the overall scheme of things.
I see. So God let you in on the plan and decided to get me out of it?
I said it was God's plan. I didn't say it was a good plan.
Meanwhile, having to sit across from you on trains, that stupid grin of conquest on your mug, knowing the train was chugging toward another one of your prey.
And days are fading with each wrinkle, love. And my creeping out of windows at dawn days are done. Can't even creep into them anymore. Can't say as I want to either.
If there's a secret desire within me to carry on with you in the act, it's not prevalent enough to hold me here, and strong enough to keep me from walking away.
You're putting the terrors in me now. I only stayed out of your heart so I wouldn't break it. Like you're breaking mine now. What's ever happened to your,
The girl? Turn over to the church. And a vague reference behind the closed door of a convent, Mother Superior to my parents about an orphanage. Like it never happened. A tarnished miracle.
So you walked away then? Like you're walking away now?
I didn't walk away. I was pushed. And after I was pushed, I ran because I had nowhere else to go but anywhere else. You know, from the very beginning, I could see that applause is like a life raft to you. And for the next 20 years, it began to mean the same to me. But in the past few years, with more people going home to listen to the radio for free, I get the idea we share in a desperate silence, avoiding the inevitable, the end of this, of us. Unspoken because admitting it to each other would mean admitting it to ourselves. But tonight was both the end and the beginning.
The beginning of what? You don't know anything else but what we do!
I wish to God I was more proud of that! And I don't say that to hurt you.
Oh. Regrets now, is it? Making me out to be the selfish bandit, purloining your little rays of happiness and cramming them into me oversized pockets for me own private rainy days and all.
You didn't steal anything. You gave me a chance at a life that made me laugh and bleed and hurt and sweat and work and cry and dream. All those nights wanting to hold you. And all those days wanting to kill you. And, well, a chance to live. But it's over now, you jewel and me, darling. Over. Done. Can't see a silent comedy act going over too big on the radio.
It's not over. It can't be. The applause, the cheers, the laughter. Put your mind to it, girl. The laughter.
Yes. The laughter I will miss. It's become so ingrained in me. Seems a bigger part of my identity than I am. But whatever it is that craves that laughter will grow fainter. The further away I get from a life spent before strangers. More like a woman, but less like a seal. Tonight, a bolt of lightning raced down my spine and landed at my motionless feet. Body and soul ready to follow their lead.
Into quicksand.
On the contrary, my way out of it.
Oh, so it's quicksand I am to you now, is it?
Oh, it's your metaphor. Your usual misanthropic flair for the fatal, with a thick veneer of Irish melodrama.
Certainly know how to hurt a fella.
Growing up, we had this young cherry tree in the backyard, about the same age as me. And in the early summer, I would wrestle with the notion of when to pick the cherries at the ripe shade of red. Tell myself, wait one more day for perfection. The next morning, the birds had eaten every last cherry on that tree. I'm not going to let that happen again.
All right. You don't want to be left out. Fine. But what exactly do you want? Is it to be chained to a rocking chair? Milk, chocolate.
You're confusing contentment with containment. No. Just to be. Not to be on time to put on makeup. Not to be on after the jugglers. Not to be on for curtain call. Not to be on the next bus. Be on the next train. Not to be or not to be. Just, to be.
It was the journey, love. It's always been about the journey. That's the in and the out of it, the front and the back, the beginning and the... Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Finney and Finney's Silent Tour of America, New York. New York.
Miami.
Chicago.
Biloxi.
Dallas.
Hollywood.
Seattle.
Hershey, Pennsylvania.
Where?
Enough! Damn it, Beanie, enough. Hershey, Pennsylvania. The end of the line. I was born here and I would like to die here. After some inquiries, I found out my daughter has the same idea. Yes, that's right. I'll be stirring up my courage to meet my daughter. An audience of one. Gonna be uneasy, awkward, painful, difficult, forcing me to take off the clown makeup and be a human being for the first time in 2 decades.
For love, no money. But I want for a better partner. It was an honour to share the stage with you, darling Finney.
Was. That's a word I never thought I'd hear from you. Damn it. My eyes promised me they wouldn't cry.
Marry me. We'll go visit your daughter Agatha as man and wife, ma and dad.
Is this a desperate play to keep the act going?
No, I'll give up the road, I swear it. We'll even buy mansion rocking chairs.
Sounds like you're forcing those parallel lines together.
Anyway, you slices, it's us being together. You and me, ring and all. What do you say?
Honest?
Once. Honest. On the heart.
Never mind your heart. What about the rest of you?
Love you.
You love me?
I do. Now, them's 2 words I never thought I'd put together in a sentence. Oh, a life sentence.
I'm just as surprised as you are. No more of your old Danny boy Irish tricks now?
Kiss me. There's no trick in a kiss.
My darling, How did you know her name was Agatha?
I know how fond you are of the name Agatha. I must have heard you say it, a dozen...
Fond? I don't even like the name, Agatha. Mother Superior gave her that name, not me. I only found out her name and address yesterday by bribing the nuns at the orphanage. I repeat, how did you know her name was Agatha?
Lucky guess.
Agatha? Luck or no luck, no one guesses a name like that. Do you care for me at all? I want the truth.
Before you blow your top, even more, please take a firm grasp of my intent. What I did for us now.
"15 Stony Brook, Dauphin County, Pennsylvania. From Agatha. December 25th, 1929. 5 years. You've known? For 5 years?
Merry Christmas.
You slippery Irish rat!
You would have left me, sure. Left me to suffer the lonesome company of my own shadow.
Playing nursemaid to a selfish Mick who needs applause to feel he has the approval of the very same unsophisticated yokels he holds in contempt.
No. The loneliness would only lead to drink, and the drink would only lead to harlots, and harlots would only lead me back to the loneliness. Mind you, only on a Saturday night.
There's that stupid grin again! No trick in a kiss. The kiss was the trick.
No, it was being terrified of dying in the arms of some old painted bump and grinder in a flea-bitten burlesque house. You're all I have!
Dad! I wanted a life!
Tell me, darling.
Too late. For me, darlings, now. Walked right into that charming trap of yours.
This life, it's not much, but it's ours. You're my family.
You deprived me of what is most precious to me, Queenie. Precious. The deepest, darkest part of me coming to light after all these tears, and you took that away. I'm gonna get it back. And for whatever we are or were to each other, I can't see sharing any tomorrows with you. Let's end it the way we played it on stage all those years. Silent. Curtain.
in to see the doctor, say. The doctor says, I got some bad news and some worse news. The guy says, what's the bad news?
I think we all know the answer to that one. Fee?
Is that you, Feeney?
Hiya, Billy.
You need a lift back to the boarding house?
No. I need to go when my future begins and the stage ends.
Where's that?
15 Stony Brook, Dauphin County, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Bye, Finney and Feeney. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Feeney. Come on, lad.
Hey, wait, ain't you gonna take your kid?
No. It'll be my own face from now on. The soft, retired life.
Hey, you do know that Stony Brook is a dairy farm. Jesus! And you know you're not dreaming, Signor. Tell me what you see back in old Napoli, that's amore.